Hello and welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my day ones, twos, and threes. Thank you to all my new subscribers that's coming in. That means well. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you all and welcome. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only, so everything is alleged. Some is not, and the fair act use is in my description box, y'all. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Now, the other video was an hour and a half. I had to go check my phone, see why my phone was ringing off the hook. I'm sorry, y'all. I would have put this in with the other one, but it was already an hour and a half long. So let's get to it, y'all. We are going to break down Boss Talk 101 interview with Keefe D about Keefe D, OG, some OG that was on there, Peru, I guess he was a Peru street associate, whatever it is. But anyway, we're going to break some stuff down. So I wanted to play a few things because I wanted to show you all how Tupac and Mo3 case is very, very similar. Okay, y'all? So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Let me turn it up and let's get it. Let's get it. So this part right here is Mike Tyson. Wait a minute. This is not Boss Talk. I'm gonna put in their stuff too. But this one right here is another video. I wanted to put this in first because I want y'all to hear what Mike Tyson is saying. Okay, y'all? So let's go. Let's go.
Plot thickens even further, folks. In a jaw-dropping revelation, former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson appears to assert that he possesses concrete evidence linking none other than Diddy to Tupac's death. In a candid interview with DJ Vlad, Mike Tyson made a heartfelt confession, admitting that he bears partial responsibility for the tragic loss of the iconic rapper. This unexpected disclosure has left the world stunned and reignited interest in the mysteries surrounding Tupac's death.
From prison and explained that Tupac was at the Indiana Black Expo, wanted to meet me, and that's the first day I met him.
The admission not only sheds new light on the circumstances surrounding Tupac's death, but also unveils the intricacies of the interconnected lives of these two influential figures. The friendship between a boxer and an activist may have seemed unusual, but it was truly genuine. It all began when Iron Mike was already a star, while Tupac was still trying to make a name for himself. Their paths crossed in a nightclub where the aspiring rapper amazed the baddest man on the planet with his incredible singing talent. Moreover, the charismatic singer's passion for boxing brought them even closer. This shared interest in the sport is what led them to start hanging out together and cultivate an unbreakable bond of friendship. Anyway, in a recent Drink Champs interview with DJ EFN and Noor, released on Sunday, June 11th, Iron Mike opened up about his 1992 prison stint, sharing a mind-blowing interaction with the legendary West Coast artist that caused an uproar during his visit. While at an after-party at the Palladium on Sunset in California, Mike instructed security to allow a group of young men to enter through the back of the venue, and one...
Okay, wait a minute, y'all. I want to get to the main points, okay? This is, I'm going to skip a little bit and I'm going to go to where I wanted to, you ought to listen to something at. Okay, so.
During the interview with DJ Vlad, he further recalled the time when he forced Tupac to come and see him fighting. On September 7, 1996, Tupac attended Mike Tyson's match against Bruce Seldon at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Tyson wanted him there, but looking back, the boxer believes that Tupac might still be alive if he hadn't pressured him to attend the match. He even elaborated that Tupac wanted him to go to 622, but he insisted him to come to Las Vegas. "I know who I am, I know what my element's about," he continued. "This is just what happens in my world. That was part of my world. Just because it was Tupac and I was attached to it, it was different." Nas, who had a brief feud with the rapper, also had plans to meet the Dear Mama lyricist in Vegas as they'd begun to put an end to their beef just a few days earlier.
Okay, y'all. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the fact that he said, this is what Nas said, that they had a brief beef. That beef was not, it wasn't brief, y'all. Okay, if somebody send you to prison by lining you up with a female lying on you saying that you raped her, okay, y'all, that is not a feud that's just gonna go away so easy. And ask yourself this question: after everything came out about the female sent to him by Nas and all of this stuff. After all this stuff, and Tupac said this himself. This is how everybody knew about how this female came to, into play. Because Tupac told everybody that Nas is the one that sent this female. So he's the one introduced this woman to him. Okay, y'all? Now, if Tupac just got hit up, okay, he almost lost his life. Then he is going to court while he's still healing. And then he goes to jail for something that Nas did. Do y'all believe for 1 minute, y'all, seriously, that Tupac and him had made up 2 days before Tupac had went to Las Vegas, y'all? Or do y'all believe that everybody in the industry was coming at Tupac? They were all in cahoots together. And the majority of these people that was coming at Tupac was from New York, same place where Jay-Z was from. And word on the street is Tupac was a threat to Jay-Z's empire. He thought that Tupac was going to get more shine than him. So they wanted Tupac out of the way. Now, y'all let me know in the comment section, do y'all believe Nas? Do y'all really believe that Tupac and him had made up? Or do y'all believe, please answer this question in the comment section, that Nas was still coming at Tupac because this is what the industry does when they want somebody out the way? He didn't say he was going to Las Vegas to go see the fight. This is not what Nas said. He said he was going there to meet Tupac. Why would Tupac want to meet up with your... I'm just saying, y'all. Why would he want to meet up with Nas after Nas set him up to go to prison? Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. That's why I keep telling y'all. Was Nas and Jay-Z always working together in the first place to eliminate some folks? I'm just saying, why is these same industry people still around? They're still buddies. They still this and that, net. These same group of people still partying together and this and that. People have come and gone, but they're all still huddled up in the same little circle. Ask yourself why, y'all. That's all I got to say. Ask yourself why. Let's keep going.
We both knew we were supposed to continue that conversation and probably just squash the whole thing. I was scheduled to meet him in Vegas.
First, he said they had made up a few days later. Then he said that they were supposed to continue a conversation. So he was sweating. He was sweating Tupac. Why was he sweating him so hard, y'all? Ask yourself this question. What did Nas want so bad, y'all? What did he want from Tupac so bad? Outside of this whole takeover. Take him out the game. He went to prison for something you lined him up for. He get out. And he gets taken out in Vegas. And I keep telling y'all, location is so very important when it comes to these cases. Location. Now, this is the Peru guy. And he is on Boss Talk 101 talking about some stuff that went down. Okay? And I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. I truly believe that this Peru guy, be completely honest with y'all, I think that this Peru guy is trying to change the narrative. To be honest with y'all, I think he's trying to change the narrative. Because they have people that this is what they do. They change the narratives. Okay, y'all? Now let's listen to some of what this guy is saying. Okay? And we're going to see if we can debunk some of what he's saying. Okay? Because I truly believe I can. You know, I just did a debunk video not too long ago. I did a debunk video about, what's his name? Mr. E in a movie and Marcus beating him about Tupac. About, Mo3. And now I'm finna debunk what this guy is saying about Puff Daddy and Keefe D and all of this. Let's listen to this real quick.
Instagram, Facebook, Snap. Good to be here, boss.
No, thank you for coming, man. Listen, hey, man, couldn't wait for the show.
Couldn't stop in Dallas without hollering at Boss Talk
101, what a bosses talk, man.
Now, before we get started, this OG is going to ask a couple of questions, and I want to try to, collaborate a little bit on these questions, okay? Now, we all know that Puff Daddy was introduced to Keefe D in 1993 by this Zip guy, which is supposed to be the guy that Puff Daddy paid the money to. Well, he paid the money to Aaliyah uncle. Aaliyah uncle allegedly passed the money to Zip, and Zip took the money. Word on the street, Zip took the money and didn't give Keefe D none of the money, and he was the one that was allegedly the one that was, put the play in motion. Okay, y'all? He took the money, allegedly, this Zip guy, and went and bought himself a club, a nightclub, y'all. And this is why they're saying that, Keefe D is peed off about it because he didn't get anything. Only thing that he's getting out of it was he's getting paid for doing interviews to tell his story because they gave him immunity. Word on the street, one of the cities gave him immunity that he wouldn't be charged if he talked about it. Okay, they gave him immunity, but they lied to him. They tricked him, y'all. And now he's being charged from another city and state. Okay, y'all? And this is why the case went on. Okay, and I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. I do believe that this case involves not only Puff Daddy and Keefe D and all these people, Orlando Brown, but I do believe the police was involved as well. And I'm going to tell y'all why I think the police was involved in certain circumstances, because it's similar to Mo 3, and we're gonna go over the stuff that's similar and the stuff that's, with both of these cases. We're gonna go over that. So let's go.
Man, the boss talk is boom, it went crazy. Definitely want to talk to you about, man, and I know you being one that you knew about. You hung around Tupac back in the days when he was around and had duties and whatnot. But I watched a guy on another podcast, Keefe D. Now I don't know LA business, but he got on this podcast and he started talking about what was going on with Pac and the dude Lonzo, whoever the guy was in the car, and all this stuff started strumming up, different things. And then all of a sudden I'm watching the news. Well, I'm really not watching the news because stuff pop up on your IG and all on your.
Come on, guy. You talking a little too much. Let's go. Let's get to it.
Have to watch the news. It's coming to you whether you like it or not. And boom, they say we raiding the house, reopening a Tupac case. It messed my head up 30 years later.
Okay, y'all. I'm just stopping so they won't be tripping, but we're going to keep going.
Yeah, this guy, and I don't know Keefe D from a can of paint.
Yeah.
He's in a different era than me, but I was there the night that this happened, right? I was on a detail I just left, did a detail with Pac, Gridlock. We just finished the movie Gridlock. And myself, Captain Shahid Muhammad out of the Nation of Islam, but we had the Nation of Islam on mic at the time. And
so this guy, prison guy, street associate, he goes to prison, he gets out, and he's being put around movie sets and all kind of stuff where big money is being made and stuff like that. He is being put on detail with stuff like this, which is kind of odd, but let's go.
So this guy Zip, that was supposed to have given him the gun, and I've been talking to Big Low and Abdullah that was on the detail, and Anthony. We were all in the dressing room after the fight. Like I say, I don't know this guy Keefe D at all. I don't remember him, but
this is where he started messing up at, when he started putting them Muslim guys around him in the first place. If Malcolm X was somebody that the Muslims should have put on a pedestal and kept him safe, if they took him out, what you think they'll do for some rappers, especially when people money is being passed around? I'm just saying, y'all, I wouldn't trust them either. I'm just saying.
Zip was in the locker room at that time. Zip left the locker room, went to the underground, and went to Mike's house. Mike had just had a baby, his little daughter, and they went back to the house off of Eastern. So Zip, from my understanding, left with the Mike Tyson entourage.
Okay, now I want y'all to listen to this. I want y'all to listen to this. What he's saying. Okay? What he's saying. Mike Tyson, right here. This is why I tell y'all, I kind of look at Mike Tyson a little side eye, because Mike Tyson's starting to seem like he's a part of this industry mess. And, you know, he knows what's going on. And he's to play a part, he's to play a part. But if he's not, he observe, he try to let a little bit out at a time, but he don't let the whole cat out the bag. Mike Tyson begged and begged and begged and begged Tupac to come to his fight. Okay, this is why I tell y'all, they found out what your weakness is. They know that Tupac was all fanned out over Mike Tyson. He was a fan of Mike Tyson. Huge, huge fan. Okay, this is what I tell you. They find out what you like and they use what you like against you. Okay, same thing with Mo3. They figured out a way. First thing, they got to figure out location. Where is we going to line him up at? What do he like the most? What's Mo3 weakness? This female. Okay? He wanted to hit that from time to time. The Skeet sister. The Skeet sister lived in the Ops neighborhood. We got that location. This is where this is our starting point. Okay, y'all? Now, Mike Tyson was Tupac's starting point. How do we get tabs on Tupac? Okay? He's crazy about Mike Tyson. They all of a sudden are friends. Mike Tyson begged him to come to the show. Okay? He not only begged him to come to the show, but he told him he was going to hang out with him later on. Now, mind you, this is where the police comes in at. Okay? Because they always got to have some dirty cops in the mix. This is why they get away with what they do. Okay? They lined up for Tupac that same night to do some charity work. Okay, y'all? They wanted him to do some type of charity work for some police officer. Okay? This is what they said. They wanted him to do the charity work. He had to do this charity work for some police officer. I don't know if the police passed away or something. But either way it go, Tupac had to serve community service. Y'all remember he had to serve community service when he got out of jail and all of this mess and stuff too. Okay? So when he went to Club 662, it was for business. It wasn't just to do a show or whatever. He was doing a fundraiser, some kind of charity event for Las Vegas. For a Las Vegas police officer. Okay, y'all? This is how I say that the police was involved with this mess as well. Okay, y'all? The same thing with Mo3. He gets taken out on the expressway, and these people are allowed to block off the expressway and all of this stuff, and no cops in sight. Okay, y'all? Cops were involved. Same thing. Okay? It's so many things that's similar. It's ridiculous. Okay? Now, let's talk about, let me let them talk a little bit more. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Let's talk about him a little bit more.
With all the cameras and everything, where's the picture of him giving Keefe D a gun?
Now, he said that Keefe D received this is what Keefe D said, that he got a weapon from Zip. Now, to be honest with you, it seems as if this guy right here, this OG, is trying to change the narrative of what Keefe D is saying. Why is he trying to change the narrative? Because it seems as if he's trying to protect some folks. This is what it seems like this guy is here to do. Okay? And ask yourself, why do people just come out the woodwork and you don't know nothing about this person, but they pop out and they start talking about some stuff? If you don't know Keefe D from a can of paint, then why is you acting as if you know when, where, and how? This man could have met him outside of the room where you was in at and gave Keefe D a weapon. You don't know. You don't know. And he had to give it to Keefe D at the fight, when the fight was over or whatever. He had to give it to them around that time, or he could have gave it to him before the fight. So how would this guy know when he gave it to him? Just because you didn't see him give it to him don't mean he didn't give it to him. He could have gave it to him outside. He could have gave it to him in a car. Because there were big plans around what happened to Tupac. Okay? Just like Mo3. I'm finna compare everything that was going on. Okay? The guys that was in that car, one of the guys, his auntie, the car was rented in her name, the Cadillac. One of the guys, he was really, a big player in what happened to Tupac, one of the guys. Because it seemed like he made some serious plans, y'all. Okay? Especially if your auntie, go rent this car and all of this other stuff. And then, wait a minute, y'all. Yeah. Okay, so he said, let's get to it, y'all, because I don't want to mess up nothing. I want to just really break down everything that this guy's saying. Let's keep a little bit going.
Now, gangbanging is real in the city of Bompton, California. This is some serious shit. Now, this brother Orlando, he's a Southside Crip. Arch enemies with the mob, Ludus Park, Hollywood, and Limehood. Those are arch enemies. At the time, Death Row was the biggest thing since Mother's Oatmeal. Suge bought about almost 1,000 tickets for Pyrus to come to the fight.
So they were in there deep. Suge Knight had an entourage, humongous, that came to the fight in the first place. So just think about, he said he bought almost 1,000 tickets to get a street association to come to the fight. Okay? Now make it make sense as to why Orlando Anderson was in the lobby by himself. Like he was a plant put there on purpose. Now I'm going to tell y'all this. I think Orlando Anderson already knew that they were going to jump him. I think he already knew. To be honest with y'all. I think he knew. I think that's what he was there for. They figured they ain't going to try to take you out in the lobby of where the fight is. They not going to do that in front of all these white people, but they probably will jump you most likely. Okay? This is probably what you're going to do. And if you got tabs with inside with the other people, okay, you're going to make sure he ain't going to get hurt too bad. But it's going to make it still look good due to the fact that you want to make Tupac believe that he's not being set up. I'm just saying, y'all, okay? I want you to pay attention to this. The same thing as what was going on with Mo3. He was being lined up by both sides. And I think Tupac got lined up with both sides, too. His people played a part and his ops played a part. Let's keep going.
You feel what I'm saying? Any Crip out of their mind if they think they going to come to Vegas by themselves. Orlando's a gang member. On that footage, why would he stand there in the auditorium by himself? Keefe D said it was 3 of them came together. Where was the other 2 men when he got into the altercation?
Okay, so he's asking a question. He's asking a couple of questions, okay? And, one thing I have to say this. I have to say this with the questions that he's answered. First, he says, why was Orlando standing there alone? He was just standing in the lobby. You got all these Peru guys that, I'm just saying, that Suge Knight done brought there thousands of tickets. So that means thousands of guys was there that Suge Knight had there. Why so many guys and none of these guys protected Tupac? You got all these guys coming to a concert. Not a concert, but a fight, okay? That you paid tickets for. To come and show up at this place. If y'all were there to show up and show out and make sure at least that Tupac was protected, then what were you there for? I don't understand why 1,000 people, street associates, would be invited somewhere and nobody stopped the person that hit up Tupac. Not only that, allegedly, Suge got grazed by an alleged weapon and a bullet. And none of these people, 1,000 people you invited there, if they was invited there for protection, to make sure y'all was all good while y'all was there, then what was the purpose of those 1,000 people's coming for, y'all? And why would Orlando be in a lobby just sitting around waiting? Why in the world would he be just sitting there waiting? Huh, y'all? Why? Now, this is what the guy said. That this guy right here, Zip, introduced Keefe D and Puffy. Okay, y'all? He introduced them. This guy, Zip, left with Mike Tyson's entourage when they left the fight. Word on the street. But at the same time, Zip and Keefe D drove to Las Vegas in separate cars. They didn't drive to Las Vegas together. They drove there in separate cars. For a mission, I do believe that everything was premeditated already. Okay? These three guys here drove to Las Vegas too. But one of them, Terrence Brown, I do believe it's Terrence Brown, he was the one that his auntie is the one that rented the white Cadillac for him. Okay, y'all? This is what they said. He was the one that they rented the Cadillac. You know, this guy made some other serious moves outside of just he wasn't just a car rental person that was driving a car, because they said he was the one driving the car. He the one had a white hat on. This is what one of the other witnesses said that is gone now too. That this Terrence guy was the guy that was driving. He made plans. His auntie rented the car. It's just so many other things that made it look as if this guy was a planner. The Terrence Brown guy. He was one of the big planners to me. Okay? He's gone now, but he was one of the big planners. Okay? These three guys drove to Vegas. Now, this guy is going to say, the OG guy is going to say that these three guys rode 400 miles to get to the fight. Because this is what they told everybody. They was renting a car so they can go see the fight. But the thing of it is, y'all, when they went there to see the fight, they didn't even have no tickets. They ended up watching the fight from the lobby. Okay, y'all? All of these people coming to show up there. It wasn't even about the pause session in the lobby. They were already planning on taking Tupac out. Everybody was planning on meeting up there. Even Nas was on his way there to meet up with Tupac too. So they were coming at him at all angles, y'all. And then he still had Nas in his ear trying to make up with him and pretend like he didn't have nothing to do with the female when he know he introduced him to her. Why was he still trying to be close? Out of all, y'all please tell me in the comment section, what do y'all think that Nas was up to? If you as a man, I want to ask all my guys right now, you a street associate, and you get set up by somebody that was trying to be cool with you. Send a female your way. They get you locked up for a grape charge that you didn't even do. You go to jail while you already then got hit up because they try to take you out. You go to jail while you healing. You have to sign a bogus deal with Suge just to get out. So you can get up out of there. Because the place where they put him wasn't all that great for Tupac to be there. Too many street associates there. Okay? You get out. You sign a deal. You out. You making money and all of this stuff. And at the same time, the same person that sent the female to come and get you, just line you up to get locked up, is still trying to reach out to you, calling you, trying to make up with you, just sweating you, stalking you. Not because he liked Tupac so much, because if he liked him, he would have even got this female that you introduced him to not even go to court. If that was really your friend. Okay? But that ain't what happened. He stood back and watched this woman lie on Tupac. And he was the one that introduced her. He played a role in Tupac's prison. Y'all tell me in the comment section, would you make up with this guy? Do y'all believe that Tupac made up with him? And if he was telling Tupac that he needs to finish this conversation, they'll finish it when he come there. He was trying to be in Tupac's inner circle with him, just like they lined him up before. And remember, a lot of people with word on the street was Biggie was trying to tell Tupac to stay away from Nas. And if anybody knew street dealings, it was Biggie. And it make you wonder, did they take Biggie out because Biggie was trying to let Tupac know what the play was, that they were trying to line him up? His word on the street is Biggie tried to warn Tupac about dealing with Nas. He kept trying to tell him to leave him alone. He's bad business. So they knew of each other. They were all from New York. And Biggie knew that Nas wasn't no damn good, y'all. Okay? He wasn't any good. Why did he keep coming? Keep coming. You done already got him locked up. Why was it so important for Nas to keep coming at Tupac? Trying to be in his ear. Man, you know that all that had nothing to do with that. You know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But you introduced her to him. You the one that brought her into his life. Other than that, he wouldn't even know that female. Y'all let me know what you all have made up with Nas, or do you think that Tupac really made up with Nas, or is this a story that he just came up with so he can make it look as if they made up before Tupac passed? We'll never know that because Tupac is gone now. And Tupac never said they made up. So how do we even know that's even true in the first place? Ask yourself this question, y'all, okay? Ask yourself this question. This OG want us to believe that Keefe D is lying about everything. But why would you have this many details about all of this stuff? Why would you have this many details? And you can't say that this guy, he's broke. And these guys running around with money. You cannot sit back and say that he is not scared that they might try to come at him. Which is the reason why maybe his story changed up sometime. Because look what happened to one of those guys from, I'm just saying, the B2K guy. We all know that somebody was mingling and tingling with that child. We all know that he said he did it, then he said he didn't. He said he did it, then he said he did. Was he? Is he not to believe just because? I'm just saying, y'all. And Puff Daddy lied. We didn't call him in lies. Puff Daddy lied just like Keefe D lied. Puff Daddy said he had nothing to do with street associates. But now there are recordings coming out saying that he was paying for tickets just like Suge Knight was paying for tickets. He had 50-something street associates that he bought tickets for too. So he was rolling with street associates. His own bodyguard, this Eugene Deal, he came out and said Puffy lying. Puffy had a whole bunch of street associates coming to the concerts, buying them tickets and all that stuff for to protect him. So he could have, a lot of people out there too. If you was this scared, you must have been doing some dirty stuff for you to be having to be scared like that in the first place. Y'all, I got a feeling that a lot of stuff, or more stuff, is to come. Now, Puff Daddy, people is on recording saying that Puff Daddy did it. He did it, he said it, he did it, he lined it up. He paid for it. They're also doing a money trail now, and they're saying that they were going to lie and say that the $1 million went towards some kind of record label, but in all actual reality, the money was going toward the hit of Tupac. Now, some people is saying that, Suge Knight is innocent in all this, but I don't think so. Something tells me all of them are working together, to be honest, and it makes it much easier for everybody when everybody's working together, but also pretending like they're not. A lot of this is going on in the industry. There are people in the industry right now that are cousins, family members, but they're not letting people know about it. People are just finding out about it later, or going digging and doing some research on stuff, and then they're finding out that, oh, this person is this cousin and this is that. Why would they have that? Ask yourself this question if it's not to line up people. So you can let your guards down and say something about somebody, and then they go back and tell their people, and they line you up, okay? Now, word on the street is, all of this whole commotion started because of Puff Daddy wanted a death row chain. He put the word out that he wanted a death row chain. I don't know why he wouldn't just go buy him one, but he wanted to start some mess and have somebody go take one. And word on the street is it wasn't nothing they did to him or nothing like that. But they said that Puffy wanted to have a death row chain so he could put it in one of the Bad Boy videos. It makes sense, to be honest with y'all, because they doing that now. Look what happened with Dolph and Yo Gotti and them about this chain that was taken, and then his ops was running around wearing the pre-chains and this and that. Same circle of people in the same stuff. Okay, y'all? I keep having to try to remind y'all that Puffy is connected to CMG now. And I mean Jay-Z, and CMG now is connected to Jay-Z. So it's not far-fetched that they're doing the same thing back then that they did now. They're doing now. Now, if Puffy started this whole thing out by them trying to take one of, Death Row people's chain, he knew it was going to be some commotion. And a lot of people in my comments were saying this. They said that Rainwater reminds them of Puff Daddy, somebody that sits back, starts stuff. And then when it gets started, you sit back and act like, oh, I told Mo3 to stop all that beefing with people. But you was the one that helping him beef with people before he got taken out. Same thing with Puffy. He run around telling Mo3, I mean, not Mo3, but Biggie's mama that, oh, he gonna be safe. Don't worry, I got him. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about him. But at the same time, you are helping line up her son. That's starting beefs with other people. And this was serious business because you are talking about you talk about the the Red Association, Street Association, and you talk about the Blue Association. It was huge back then. Y'all know they had different cities and states feuding over this whole Tupac Biggie stuff. And it made no sense because Tupac and Biggie were close. They were friends. And they wanted to continue to be friends, but they had people in the middle, men that was between them that was keeping them going at each other. Because they didn't care if Biggie or Tupac got taken out. Because you know what? With them out the way, they got to prosper off of their music and make all the money, and they ain't have to give him anything. They give the parents what they want to. Ring a bell? Same thing happened to Mo3. Same exact thing. Like I told y'all, they had to get a location. They had to find a weak spot. Okay? And then they had to find the people that was on the up and up that would pretend like they friends with them, but they really wasn't. Pay attention to this because it's the exact same thing that happened to Mo3. Okay, y'all? So, this OG said he don't understand why Orlando was just standing there all by himself. Me either. Other than he was a setup. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this. After they tried to take that chain from under the Death Row, that set it off. So Death Row is looking for one of the other side so they can get some get back. Right, y'all? Which Puffy already knew that this was going to happen. Just like Rainwater knew this was going to happen when he was jumping on Beto and all of these people lives picking. He knew that this was going to make people even mad, okay? And he didn't care because it was the artist that the whole thing was on. They wanted to take out Biggie. They didn't want to take out Puffy. They wanted to take out Mo3. They didn't want to take out Rainwater. Do y'all see how other people starting stuff got them in a whole bunch of mess? Even Tupac was feeling himself, spatting on people and all kind of stuff when he was hanging out with Suge Knight. The more he hung out with Suge Knight, the wilder he got. It seemed like it just took away from all of the messages that Tupac was putting out there. He just started getting wild and not just caring, okay? But you have to understand too, some people got a boiling point. You got people like Nas trying to line him up with the female so they can say he raped them. Trying to send him to prison. You got, other artists that's jealous of you because everybody is liking you. Okay? You got a label. And I want y'all to pay this attention too. You have a label that you're trying to get away from, and they are still trying to bury you into paperwork and all of this mess to hold on to you. Because you're trying to leave the label and do your own thing. Now, I want y'all to remember the 7-day theory about Tupac passing and everybody saying about the birth certificate and all the 7-day theory. But I also want you to remember that there was also a 7-day thing that was going on with Mo3. 7 days his contract was up with Empire. In 7 days, if Mo3 would have lived, Empire wouldn't have been able to cash in on that insurance policy. So they had to take him out within them 7 days. And the same people that's getting paid big money off of Mo3, making millions of dollars right now, They done did a serious chess move. It's the same person that he was on the phone with. It's the same person that took money and invested in a movie so he can keep up with Mo3 and make sure that Mo3 be in places on certain dates that he want him to be. This was all to help line him up, okay? Now, this OG said, where were the other three? Where were the other guys? If Orlando was in the lobby by himself, it seems as if he was waiting. He was there waiting for them to see him so they could jump him, because he knew that they were going to jump him because of this chain that Puff Daddy allegedly lined up. Okay, y'all? Okay? And I'm being completely honest with y'all. Look at this big guy. I had to put this picture up because I just want y'all to see how big Suge Knight is, y'all. Sitting next to Tupac. And another thing that they said in this interview, or another interview, that when the car, the white Cadillac, was pulling up to Tupac and Suge Knight's entourage, there were several cars. There were a couple of cars that this car had to go past. And every car that he passed, he was passing security and different people that was with them, that was riding behind them. Every car that Orlando and them rode past, they were looking in those cars, y'all, trying to see which car Tupac was in. Okay, y'all? And y'all don't find it ironic that they just mysteriously end up on the right side of the car where Tupac was going to be at? Why didn't they come up on the other side of the car where Suge Knight was? They come up on the other side where Tupac was riding on the passenger side. Okay? Now, another thing that came out was they did a U-turn. So, they did say that at the club where Tupac was supposed to go there and perform for the police and all of this bullcrap, which seemed like they was just there to make sure he was at a certain particular location too. Okay? The location is very important. I keep telling y'all. Okay? The police played a part by making him do community service that night, which don't make no sense to why he would have to do a charity concert as community service. Most time people do community service, it's to sweep and mop or do some stuff like that. But a charity, you have to rap for the police? Make it make sense. Okay? All of this to me was lined up so they can line Tupac up. Tupac would have never made it that night, even if he hadn't jumped on Orlando. It was all planned for them to take him out that night. He was going to go by any means necessary. And a majority of the people that was there to make it happen was from New York. They was from New York, y'all. And Cali. Okay, y'all? So let's keep going. Let's keep going. I want to play a little bit more of what he's saying.
This thing was it's deeper. Keefe D ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, for one. You dig what I'm saying? So now we say, well, from the incident, when this incident first happened in the MGM Grand, they're talking about that Orlando got beat down. So when did he meet with Keefe D and the other two guys and get in the white Cadillac? And from Compton to Las Vegas is less than 400 miles. We all carry guns. Why would a man way from New York have to give a man from California a gun? How does
You know why a person from New York would have to give a person from California a weapon? The people from New York is the ones that planned for the takeout Tupac in the first place. That's why. It wasn't about Orlando. It was about the industry. It was about, to me, Puffy and all of them were all working together to line him up. New Yorkers, y'all. Okay? It had nothing to do with Orlando whatsoever. People were loading up in the cars coming to Vegas, telling people they was coming there for a fight. They ain't even had no tickets. Who shows up to a fight, y'all, and go watch the fight in the lobby? Make it make sense, y'all. This, what happened right here, if this had not have happened, they still would have took Tupac out that night. It was planned for them to take him out that night. Before this happened, Okay, this is the police that's supposed to be the charity was done for. Okay, and this is the club where he's supposed to did the music at for the police. Okay, y'all. Now, this guy right here, I guess this the one that supposedly got his chain took or whatever, or they tried to take his chain, whatever had one. Okay, y'all. He's the one that spotted Orlando. Now, if you was so big and bad, if Orlando was by himself, why didn't this guy that's clearly throwing up street signs, why didn't he go over there and handle Orlando by himself? Why did he run over there to Tupac and tell Tupac, there's the guy that tried to take my chain. There's one of the guys. To me, this guy right here was a part of the setup too. And I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. This is what it's looking like. I want y'all to pay attention to the fact that when Mo3 was taken out, he was taken out by both street associations. 2 different street associations came together to take Mo3 out. And I do believe that 2 different street associations came together to take Tupac out the same way. I think this all was a plot, okay? And it's people that ain't got enough sense to throw. This is how you can send them off like that. But it made it look like in front of all these cameras that when Tupac was going to get taken out later on that day, they was going to trace it back to this house session that took place at the fight, and that this was what it was about. They didn't want the truth to really come out, that it was a part of a whole setup that the people from New York was lining him up for in the first place. Why else would Nas and all these people be running to Las Vegas to meet up with Tupac, and you and Tupac didn't even get along? You had just lined him up to go to prison. Why was you sweating him so hard, Nas? Ask yourself this question. You know, it puzzles me that street associations that really, really care for Tupac, they didn't catch on till this was a industry play. This is what I get from that. Because I can see if Orlando was standing there with a couple of guys and he was scared. But if somebody from another crew tried to take y'all chain or whatever it was, and he's by himself, excuse me, I don't see the need for you to run and get Tupac. Why didn't he run to any other of the members that was with Tupac? If Suge had 1,000 guys he bought tickets for, they had a whole boatload of Peruvians there. Okay, y'all? Why in the world did he, this one right here, run to Tupac and say, Tupac, there go the guy over there. He's standing over there by himself. Why would that guy be standing in the lobby? You mean to tell me you rode 400 miles to go see a fight and watch the fight in a lobby? This is where he watched the fight from, y'all. Right here. He didn't go watch the fight. He didn't have a ticket. He watched it from on a TV that he could have watched from home. So this right here tells you this was premeditated. This was all planned from the start, y'all. He's standing over there at the blue, Orlando Anderson, by himself. Where's the other 3 guys that he rode down there to Las Vegas with? Where they at? Was they in a car? Was they at somebody's house waiting? Did they have a room somewhere? I mean, where was the other 3 guys that he rode there with? Why did they separate? Ask yourself this question. And why did Zip, whatever his name is, why did Zip ride with Mike Tyson's entourage when they left the fight? Why did he ride with him? Was that to keep up with him in case Tupac called him and maybe he would have came? I'm just saying, to go meet Tupac somewhere. Was he on Mike Tyson duty? Or did Mike Tyson play a part in this? I'm just saying, y'all. Just because somebody jump on social media and be like, I feel bad that if I was supposed to meet with Tupac. Didn't we hear that from Boosie too? Didn't we hear that about King Von with Boosie? Ain't Boosie tied to Mob Ties now and T.I. now? Ain't he, y'all? Ain't Suge Knight not cooperating with the police about nothing, nothing, and it ain't about no street association stuff, I do believe that he's showing his loyalty to the game. He's not locked up for Tupac. He locked up for doing something Newbit's Day. Thinking that he can be big and bad wherever he go to whoever he want. He went to jail for something really, really stupid. Y'all think for 1 minute the feds have not offered him a deal to tell on who he saw pull that trigger? There are people in prison right now for Yo Gotti that allegedly tried to come at Dolph. That's doing 14 years for him. And being loyal to the game. He's being loyal. So what do it look like to y'all that Suge Knight is doing? And I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to go back to this picture. I have to go back to this picture right here. And the reason why I want to go back to this picture is the fact that all this man sitting next to little old Tupac didn't get one shell to the chest, the arm, the stomach, the nothing. To me, to be honest with you, I think Suge Knight scooted up out the way when they start shooting at Tupac. I think he scooted up. Just think if he leaned up forward, yo. When they came and started letting it ride in the car. What if he leaned forward? Would that have made it easier for them to just hit Tupac? I know he said that he tried to push Tupac down. But can we believe him? You mean to tell me you try to push Tupac out the way when these shells start coming at y'all? You mean to tell me that each one of these cars that was behind y'all, these people looked into each car to make sure they got to the right car where Tupac was at? And Tupac was the only one that caught shells. Only thing that he got, because a lot of people were saying that Suge didn't even really get shot. He got grazed a little bit. How do we know it wasn't self-inflicted? How do we know that it wasn't something that, they did themselves? Like the same thing, we have questions about Boosie. How do we know? Y'all? How do we know that this wasn't all planned that night? 1,000 street associates? Suge Knight had to come? And Orlando took on 1,000 Perus that night? By himself? He was brave enough to let 1,000, almost 1,000 tickets that Suge Knight got all these people to come. He was brave enough to stand in the lobby by himself after they took a chain or tried to. And y'all don't think this was a setup? He knew they wasn't going to take him out. What did they tell Orlando? You're going to take a couple of bruises or stuff. They're going to have to jump you and make it look good for Tupac. But this gives a motive. Right, y'all? If the police is looking for Orlando in this situation, thinking that this is what caused Tupac to get taken out, then it takes all the tension away from Puffy and them, don't it, y'all? It takes all the tension away from why they really did what they did, don't it, y'all? This is why I keep telling y'all. Same thing with Mo3. They try to make it look like Mo3 was taken out because of a female's jealous baby daddy. They have to have a motive to put on there. But we found out later there's so much more that was involved with Mo3 being taken out on the expressway. They took Mo3 out on the expressway. No police were nowhere in sight. So that lets you know that there was a police officer that was involved as far as schooling them on where, when, how, and what to do. Okay, y'all? I want you to pay attention to the fact that a white Cadillac that was rented from another city and state took Tupac out. And they got away No police has pulled no white Cadillacs over to see where they were, this and that, and this, which also makes you feel that the police were involved as well. The fact that they got away with doing it. A white Cadillac? That's something that stands out, y'all. There should have been a bulletin going out saying that a white Cadillac just hit up Tupac. They got away smooth sailing. Suge Knight invited over almost 1,000 people to come. Street associates. Why? If they wasn't there for protection. To help make sure that you and your entourage was good while y'all was there. Why did you buy them tickets? For what? None of it makes sense. And the reason why it don't make sense, because I do believe they all was working together. If they didn't take Tupac out on that strip, he was still not going to make it that night. No matter what. Nobody says. It does not matter. He keeps saying, where was the other three? When was this weapon? When was this weapon, y'all, passed on? From Zip. Zip was supposed to want to give him the weapon, right, y'all? When was this weapon passed from Zip to Keefe D? How could this guy know when that was passed? If Orlando was waiting in the lobby, how do y'all know? I'm just saying that Zip didn't give Keefe D that weapon. If they came there in separate cars, okay? Separate cars, Zip and Keefe D was on their way to Vegas. At the same time, the other three people was in their cars, the white Cadillac, on their way. Okay, y'all? Tell me this. How do they know this OG don't know that they met up with them before they even came to the fight and passed them the weapon? Just because you did not see it, he gonna say, well, when did he pass it to him in front of all these cameras? Did you come there with him? Did this guy come there with him? I'm just saying. Don't they got bathrooms? Is there cameras inside of the bathroom, y'all? Could they have met in the bathroom? Could they have met on the outside? You talk about celebrities. They can move around how they want to, when, where, and how they want. You mean to tell me that you had eyes on Zip and Keefe D all night? That I'm just saying. I'm just saying, y'all. How would this OG know? And he's sitting up there laughing, talking about, it don't make sense. It make a lot of sense. It makes the sense that I've been saying for a long time, that all of these guys work together to help line people up. And go back to what mob ties mean, y'all. Go back to the meaning of mob ties. Because it is people moving around in different cities and states. That's all connected. That's what the Infinity Links is all about. That they are all connected in one way or another. Okay, y'all? I did a little numerology on that. I'll probably do that on another video because I've been talking a lot. But why is this guy acting as if what he's saying makes sense? Let's go.
That's illogically. And then when you look at the incident, they came out of Las Vegas Boulevard, came down Las Vegas Boulevard to Flamingo. 662 was on Flamingo, 1700 East Flamingo. So when they got shot, if Keefe D was coming from where the club was and looking for him, and they made this massive U-turn, how is Suge's rims, he had to hit the curb on the right side, and you came up on the right side, how does it, and out of this whole thing, nobody sees the car. It's a white Cadillac. How do you get back to Compton and never get stopped? Mm-hmm. I'm telling Keefe D this.
Because the police was working with him. Because the police is the reason why he was at the 662 place in the first place. They lined up Tupac to be there for this charity event. Okay, y'all? So this is how he got. If the police was involved with getting him to come to this event, saying that this event was, for charity, it was for his community service, y'all don't think police would have made sure that they didn't stop this white Cadillac and let them get away? I'm just saying, y'all, you're talking about $1 million. And you got dirty cops out here that'll take a cut out of that million just to let that car ride on up out of there. But the thing of it is, there was somebody in Vegas that I do believe that was involved as well. And like I told y'all, they say that Zip, the person who rode to Vegas, okay, in separate cars, that was supposed to be involved with all of this mess, that was one that was passing money from P. Diddy and this and that and that and this. This ninja left with Mike Tyson's entourage. Make it make sense, y'all. Because it makes all the sense that all of these people played a part. It makes all the sense, okay? I know some people going to be like, they was beefing and they was this. Y'all don't think that Puff Daddy and Suge or pretend that they got a beef going just so Biggie and this other guy can Tupac get taken out and they end up with the money? Both of them stood to gain out of both of these artists passing away. He didn't have to give Tupac another dime, Suge Knight, after that. He was the man with all this money and all these lyrics. Tupac was working overtime. He had so much music. They still had albums came out after Tupac passed. Okay? He had made so much music that he had put down. And look at all the albums that came out after Tupac passed. I want y'all to think about this. He worked overtime just like Mo 3. Okay? It's so many similarities. So many similarities. Rain had people on that expressway. Okay, y'all? Rainwater had people on that expressway. Making Mo 3 think that this was a taping that was getting a piece of this movie that was getting taken, done over. So the movie is the reason that Mo 3 was on that expressway. The movie. His manager lined him up for this movie. Suge Knight had all of these street associations at that fight, and they were deep. Okay? He bought all of these tickets. Suge Knight controlled the scene. If you got 1,000 street associates at this fight, you are controlling. You're controlling everything that's going on. Ain't nobody coming at y'all. Y'all too deep for anybody to be trying something with y'all. He controlled the location. Suge Knight did. 1,000 peruse, and you don't have. All they did was kick and punch Orlando a little bit, roughed him up a little taste. That's all y'all did. It seemed like a setup, y'all. Okay? The movie was to make Mo 3 seem like everything was real. The movie. The fight was to make Tupac think that this was real. That everybody was in your corner and they loved you and you're good. And remember what I was telling y'all? They give him a false sense of what's really going on. Like the Truman Show. Tupac thought that all of these street associates that was putting paws on Orlando, they was rocking with him. Think about it. Mo 3 thought that all of these people that Rainwater had lined up for him the night before and that day, they was rocking with him all of a sudden. He was the man in Dallas that everybody's starting to like him now. The beef, they trying to put this beef to the side and make this money. It was all to make him think one way when it was totally another. It was a Truman Show going on around Tupac. It was a Truman Show going on around. I'm telling y'all. Think about it. Think about it. And remember when I did the numbers and how Truman Show keep popping up? And then I want y'all to pay attention to something else that's really eerily similar. This house just got raided. They were looking for evidence. Somebody gave them a tip to go and check out this guy's house or his girlfriend's house or whoever house that they raided. I want y'all to think about Devin Brown's house got raided too. Do y'all see how this stuff is similar? They say they claim they got the weapon for Mo3 out of Devin Brown's house, but ain't no charges really been charged yet. Everything is still saying pending, y'all. Okay, everything is still saying pending. Now, another thing that's weird about this whole situation too, Nas tried to end the beef a few days earlier. He said two days or so earlier, he squashed the beef with Tupac. This is what he's saying. We don't know. We wasn't there. But I want y'all to pay attention to the fact that Mo3, they call themselves squash the beef with him too, right before he got taken out. All of these people that were on that expressway with Mo3 were his ops. People that he didn't even mess with. He didn't want to do music with them. But Rainwaters was making him think that everything was all good with them. You can do some music with them now. You're going to be able to move around in the city. We squashing it. But in all actual reality, people came into town to take Mo3 out. Kenny Baby Boy don't even live in Fort Worth no more. He moved out of town. So he even came in town to help play a part in taking out Mo3. Just like all these other guys came into town to play a part in taking out Tupac. Same thing, y'all. People renting Cadillacs, people changing license plates. Do y'all see the same pattern, y'all? The same exact pattern that happened with Mo3 is the same exact pattern that happened with Tupac, y'all. Same thing. Boosie supposed to meet up with King Von, didn't show up, get taken out. Tupac supposed to be hanging out with Tyson. He faked him out at the last minute, said he got to go home. He got a new baby that just came into play. So this is why he didn't go hang out with Tupac. But you didn't have time to hang out with Tupac, but you still left the fight with one of the people that is now, they're saying, that played a part in the whole thing. Why did you, I'm wondering now, what's Zip connection with Mike Tyson? Why did he leave the fight with Tyson, but you and Tupac, you begged Tupac to come? They said Orlando and them showed up to the club where Tupac was supposed to be doing charity work at, which the police made sure that he was going to be there because he had to, part of community service, y'all. He had to be there. They stayed there a little bit and then they left and went to get some sippy. This is what they ran to the store and got. Once they went and got the sippy, they started riding around until they found Tupac. They messed around and ran into them leaving from wherever else that, Suge Knight and Tupac and was leaving from. They had to do a U-turn, come back around, and they looked through each car to see which car had Tupac in it. And they pulled up, let it ride, and Tupac was the only person that got a serious injuries from this. To me, Suge scooted up out the way. Now, I know he big and he couldn't move too much, but he still could lean up to give them a better shot at Tupac. Okay, y'all? I'm not believing nothing what they saying. To me, it was a setup. The setup, the whole thing at the fight was the motive part. They wanted to get all eyes off of Puffy and them. All eyes off of Nas and them. They didn't want nothing to come back to Nas and Puffy and I'm just saying, the hater in the industry. Jay-Z, they didn't want nothing to come back to these guys. So what better way than to make it look as if it was street association related? That's all I'm saying, y'all. This is what it looks like. And then when did he get the weapon? It don't make no sense. And he laughing. It make all the sense in the world that all of them played a part in this whole thing. Why would a man, and this is what he said too, why would a man from New York have to supply a weapon to someone from Cali? I mean, if you told these guys, we don't want y'all to get pulled over and mess around and y'all got something, just wait till y'all get there and we'll make sure y'all got what y'all need so that just in case y'all get pulled over, the police don't, y'all mess around and go to jail on y'all way to take care of that business. That would make sense. That would make all the sense in the world. And he's saying, why would everybody carry weapons? But if you on your way to do a mission, it make more sense for them to be like, especially if they want something to hold over your head too. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the fact, and it makes a lot of sense why Keefe D is so bold about talking about what happened to Tupac, because they gave him that immunity. And I'm gonna tell y'all this: if the police made him feel like they gave him immunity, that he could get away with passing a weapon to somebody, if they made him think he can get away with all of this stuff, being in a car that a car took this guy off, and all these 30 years that he got away and he been bragging and bragging and bragging, he felt that he could say and do whatever it is he wanted. And it makes sense too why he didn't mind keeping whatever evidence that they had to come to his house and get. We don't know if it was a weapon, if it was shells, we don't know what. But it makes sense that this Nupit's Day, Keefe D, thought that he can keep some evidence around a house all these years, okay, and it not come back to nip him in the butt. They tricked him. And to be honest with you, I think this is about extortion. I think that due to the fact that Puffy then became a billionaire now, I think that the people around this whole situation is trying to get more money out of Puffy. This is what this is about. They're making it look like Keefe D just wants some money out of Puffy. But Keefe D is taking the short end of the stick too. So that means to me, and all these audios and all this stuff is coming out now, that Keefe D is locked up. So who's releasing these recordings and all this stuff? To me, a lot of people are trying their best, y'all. I kid y'all not. This is what it looks like to me. That they could be trying to squeeze some money out of Puffy, and this is why this stuff is coming out right now. But like I told you, Satan is busy. You hang with snakes, sooner or later, those snakes is going to take you down. And a lot of these industry guys, they do not like to share the spotlight. I'm going to be completely honest with you. The same people you shaking hands with and going to all these little white parties with. Y'all saw the pictures of Puff Daddy and Jay-Z. Jay-Z do not like to share that spotlight with nobody. As long as everybody's saying he's a billionaire, he's happy. But as soon as somebody else get to that status and they're sharing that spotlight with you, for some reason, they never stay. They end up getting taken out. And is this why, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if Jay-Z is not behind somewhat the fall of I'm just saying, of Puffy. I would not be surprised. Or it could be some cops. It could be some cops. It could be mob ties. But somebody is some involvement somewhere. With Puff Daddy putting out this music and saying that, putting it in words that don't make him, take your whole family out and all of this stuff. He was putting this in the music, which was similar to, other people passings and stuff like that. It made me think that, Jay-Z would have his back. And maybe this is why he was pushing for the lyrics not to be used. Okay? But I'm going to tell y'all this. Sometimes somebody could pretend to be in your corner, and at the same time, they could be lining you up. Look what was going on with Mo3 and his manager. Pay attention to that as well. These are snakes, and you can't underestimate anything that they do. In public, they could be trying to make it look like they got your back, but in reality, they don't. In reality, they don't. Financially, right now, Jay-Z is connected to the prison. He's connected to politicians and all kind of stuff. So I'm just saying, y'all, I just found it odd. I find it so odd. And then this, this OG coming forth now to make it look like Keefe D is a big liar and he this and that, he that. Well, Puffy a liar too. Puffy said he didn't have nothing to do with no street associates. But his own bodyguard is saying that he did. He lying. He paid for them to have tickets. They hung out with him all the time. So Puffy is lying about that too. So why ain't you, putting everybody out? He's just trying to make it look as if Keefe D just made this up. Now, I ain't going to say Keefe D didn't make this up, but at the same time, I'm just saying, a lot of stuff makes sense to the point where this is the same thing that's going on in the industry right now. Right now. None of this stuff makes sense now that it's coming out the way it's coming out. Why would somebody that was into it with all of these guys be there by himself in the lobby, drive 400 miles to a fight he don't even have a ticket for? It wasn't about what happened in that they were gonna try to take Tupac out anyway. And y'all tell me, y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole situation, because my understanding, this is what I'm looking at right now. Seriously, this don't make no sense. Outside of, they all played a part to get people out the way. 7-day theories, 7 days, his contract up. Then he was finna sign, Mo3 was finna sign with Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti is rocking with the same people that's allegedly lining people up. Is still connected with the same people that, allegedly took Mo3 out in the first place. Y'all make it make sense that this wasn't all lined up. And the same thing with, why is Suge Knight protecting these guys? And word on the street is, y'all, Suge Knight is friends. He is friends, y'all. And this is another thing that don't make no sense. He has some type of connection with Orlando now. Okay, y'all? He has connections with them. So how does Suge have connections with Orlando, but Orlando is into it with Pac? None of this makes sense. But at the same time, you protecting Orlando. If you is such a G, then why did you even open your mouth, period? Why in the world, y'all? It makes no sense that Suge would even open his mouth, period. If you are, street person and you stick to the street code, make it make sense, y'all, as to why you would still make it your business to say Orlando did not do it. But you won't tell who actually did when you saw them face to face. Why won't you say anything? And if you're not going to say anything, why say anything at all? Make it make sense. So why it's so important for you to protect these guys? Make it make sense as to why Suge invited all these people to come out. And none of them was there when Shitka hit the fan. Not one person stopped that white car. Not one. Now they claim that people hit back at them. But you didn't chase them. You didn't chase them in a long Cadillac that can't go that fast. You did not feel the need to chase them down. You just hit at the car and then let them keep going. Nobody in your entourage decided to follow them at all. Nobody. Make it make sense as to why somebody would drive 400 miles, y'all, to a fight that they got to watch on the screen, and they could have watched it on TV. And I want y'all to think about Mike Tyson fights back then. Majority of the time that Mike Tyson fought somebody, it wasn't but a couple seconds in the first place. Who gonna drive 400 miles to watch a fight that could have lasted 2 minutes or a minute on the lobby? In the lobby, y'all. You could have did that at home. So this just goes to show you that, y'all, it's more to this than meets the eye. Okay, y'all? It's more to it. No, not one police stopped any white Cadillacs to see if they were the hitters. They completely made it out of there. And word on the street is they stuck around and they partied afterwards. Same thing that happened with Mo3. Party, party, party. Okay, y'all? They stuck around and partied. So they didn't even mind taking their time to move around in this white Cadillac. Okay, y'all? Something just is odd about this stuff, okay? Mo 3 ran down on the expressway. His last words allegedly saying, "Where you at, Rain?" You know why his last words was that? Because that means he was looking for his manager on that expressway. That means this whole movie executive producer mess crappy patty stuff on the expressway was all bull crap. Okay? There was no other scene. There was no other scene. Now, for this OG to come forth and say that none of this makes sense, it makes all the sense in the world. And the most part of this that makes the most sense is they all were working together from the start, y'all. It makes no sense other than that. None of it makes no sense. But anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.